Now back to Mad Dog Unleashed with Christopher Russo on SiriusXM's Mad Dog Sports Radio.
We haven't talked to John Beilein in a long time. He's one heck of a coach. West Virginia, what a job he's done at Michigan, 28-7. They win the Big Ten. And because we get a little chance here because of the gap before they get ready for the tournament, we can have a conversation. John, long time no talk. Christopher Russo, how are you today, okay?
Chris, yeah, great to talk with you again. Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure, John. Let's do the Cardinals first. J.P. Morosi is a friend of mine. He works for the MLB Network, and he told me today, because he lives in Ann Arbor, talk to Beilein about the Cardinals, and he's not some little fly-by-night fan. He can break down their bullpen. So there you go. Yeah. You and the Cardinals, John. How about that first? Fire away.
Chris, as soon as I wake up in the morning, I do a few things before the Cardinals, but it's the first thing I do. That first thing that I do within 30 minutes every morning. That I've read their website, I've read the Post-Dispatch. Mike Matheny just texted me the other day after we won. It's a passion. I know you love the Giants, and we got great franchises, and we do things the right way, and I'm with them no matter what. I just believe so much in them. So I like this team. I think we got good speed. We got, the starters they got to have good years, but the bullpen I think is shored up, and I'm excited. I'm excited about them.
All right. Did you become a fan? You grew up in upstate New York, right, John?
Yep.
Did you become a fan in '64, or was it Gibson in '67, '68?
Actually, it was in '63. I had a little transistor radio, and my Little League coach, Ed Wappen, was a Cardinal fan, and he said, if you listen to these games late after 9 o'clock at night, you can actually listen to games. And I flipped around, and I got to the Cardinals, and Stan Musial was up to the plate, and they made a run in '63, I think, at the Dodgers, and they didn't get there. And then '64, they were my team, and when they fired Johnny Keane halfway through, I said, I'm out. They're not going to be any good. But then I jumped up back on the bandwagon when they made their run against the Phillies, and I have been hooked. I mean, Chris, I have looked at every box score probably for 50 straight years.
Wow, how about that?
Everyone. I love it.
And that was Musial's last year in '63, and he could have come back in '64. He knew the team was going to be good. He laid low. There's a new book out. Came out last year. You'd like it. I'm having him in studio here before the season. Pappu is his name, Pappu, and it's on the '68 Cardinals and Tigers. And the year of the pitcher, and a lot on Gibson, John.
Yeah.
And Gibson was such a great big game pitcher. You'd enjoy that book. You know that?
Oh man, yeah. I don't even know if they even have charts. Did he throw 150 pitches some days?
Yeah, he sure
did. I mean,
did.
It was unbelievable. But that Lou Brock was my favorite player of all time. That was my guy. And I could do a Lou Brock pop-up slide maybe right now. I could get it done.
And listen, they've been very consistent, but they haven't been as good the last couple of years. Very un-Cardinal-like, John. How about that for a sec?
Well, I think that they've had some injuries, been plagued by those a little bit, and then especially to the pitchers. I think if Reyes doesn't get hurt last year, they win 5 or 6 more games and they're in the playoffs. So he's a budding superstar. So. They've had in my business, the ball just doesn't bounce your way some seasons, and you just got to hang in there. And the substance and high character and do things the right way in the long run. Time is a friend of truth, and the fact is the Cardinals are the truth if you look at it over a long time.
They are. All right, before we get to this year's crew, you've been at this a long time, and you had one of the great halves we were going to see in the NCAA, and Louisville kind of wear you out in half number 2 there 3 or 4 years ago. How long did it take John Beilein to get over that losing the championship game of the Cardinals?
That was difficult because when you get to that close, you get to the championship game, and the breaks didn't really go our way in that second half, and you got to live with that. But I realize I'll be much more prepared if we're blessed with that opportunity to go to the championship game or the Final Four again. I think when you go there for the first time, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I wish we were a little bit more prepared. But you can't. It's just really hard. But I think I'll have a better idea this time of what to expect.
All right. Listen, you played Syracuse in the first game, in the Final Four game. Calhoun used to tell me all the time that it's much easier to play the first game. You have a little more time to get ready for the Monday night. Did you play the first game against Syracuse?
Hey, Chris, we got back at like 1 a.m.
Oh,
2 a.m.
There you go. Okay.
And Trey Burke got just about every award on Sunday. And So I was with them to get the Robertson Award, the Wooden Award, all these things we were going through. And I'm trying to get ready for Louisville. And if I had to do it over again, I would say there was a shoot-around we had that we could go to, but it was like at 3. And I would have canceled that and gone to a high school and practiced that night, and I think we would have been better. But it's next time, that's what I'll do. But it is difficult if you get back at 2 or 3. The parents were waiting for us at 2 in the morning. I said, "We got to go to bed. We have to go to bed." That's exactly what I was talking about. I've been better prepared to be prepared. And so that's the way it goes. But we lost to a great team, and we almost got there the following year, and then we had some injuries and some pro attrition, and hopefully we're back in position to be in position again to have a good postseason.
And John, Michigan is one of the few programs that is equally successful in football and basketball. Not as many in the history in college are. UCLA is not great in football. USC is not necessarily great in basketball. You're one of them, the few schools. Duke's not a football school. You're one of the few that can do it both. It is still a football school, but Michigan basketball's got a great history to it. How about that for a second?
I think we're one of 5 schools. Maybe you could research that has won a national championship in both sports. There's only 5 of them.
Really? I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, I know Florida is one of them, but there's very few that have done.
Ohio State's probably done it.
Ohio State certainly has as well, but I think their national championship in basketball was back in the 50s maybe. So, but there's very few that have been able to do that, and so we're proud of that. Yeah, this has a great athletic program overall. I've had tremendous ADs here, and we're winning all kinds of championships or Final Fours and all our other sports. So we're rivaling we're one of the top 10 schools when you look at the whole athletic program.
Now, you're at a Big Ten school that loves its football. Do you ever feel overshadowed, John, at Michigan with the Wolverines?
Never. Huh? It's the greatest recruiting days ever when you bring recruits in. I never feel that way. I in fact, when I was looking to when I was at Richmond and Canisius, sort of look around and, hey, if I had the opportunity, where would I like to go? And I said, I want to go to a great academic school that has big time football, because it's just really special to have that part of it. And when you're successful like we are, it gives you a lot of extra resources to use in recruiting, everything. So I just saw it. Jim and I were together this morning, and it's great to have. I've been blessed. I came in here with Lloyd Carr, and Jim has done a great job. But I mean, Rich Rodriguez and Brady Hoke as well. I mean, these guys are top class guys, and fortunate to work with a lot of good people here.
John Beilein, of course, a great career with this Michigan team. I read a good story here today, John, about what you did with this ball club. You got away a little bit from the great recruit, and you spent a little more time trying to put together the team with your recruiting process. Give me some thoughts on that for a second.
Well, I think I was on a show with Rich Eisen, who's a Michigan graduate today, and I told him, I think I've told the press before, but Rudy Tomjanovich is the one that mentioned this to me a long time, because you're not amassing talent, you're building a team. And I really had always tried to do that and just say, who's a guy out there that we think will come in and be a glue guy, right? That isn't have one foot out the door for the NBA. Now, he might become an NBA guy. Like Karis LeVert, it was really going to be a good player, and he's still young. He's like 22, playing for the Brooklyn Nets. He was like a guy, hey, we need a guy there we can grow with, and we already got Hardaway, we got Burke, Nick Stauskas was another glue guy. We need a shooter. Well, that kid can shoot. Well, all those guys are in the NBA, so it works out sometimes. But you also have the guys that are they give you substance every day. They're low maintenance, and they fill a need that you have. And so you just don't go out and get a bunch of one-and-doners and try and put it together, and everybody's got one foot out the door. I'll take a one-and-doner if he's running through the doors. He loves Michigan. He's still going to go to study hall in the spring. He's still going to do all the things that he's going to fulfill all his course. If not, this is the wrong place. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with that, Chris. It means that it's not the right place to go to Michigan.
Interesting. Running in you're right. A lot of these kids out of there in March, as soon as the season's over. And I just thought of it. I didn't see the game, unfortunately. I was at a tournament there in the AAU thing. But that's right. You lost to Kentucky in that classic regional final. Oh, my gosh. So you had Louisville 1 year, and then you had Kentucky the next, right, Johnny?
We lost at a 40-foot shot there, and that was a tough loss for us, and because that was really a high-powered team. We won the Big Ten title by 3 games that year. And then Stauskas, Robinson, McGarry all went pro the following year, and we lost LeVert and Walton to injuries. And so it was okay. The things that happened in those next 2 years where we only made the NCAA tournament, we missed it the next year, then we've made it 3 in a row, is it allowed Muhammad Ali to play through his mistakes. And now he's as good a guard as there is anywhere. He's really playing out. It allowed us to get Mo Wagner as a freshman and just go out and play. Now he's as good a big man as there is in the country. So there's always an upside when things aren't to the adversity you face sometimes as a college basketball coach.
All right, what was the goal? You want to win the Big 12 tournament, the Big 10 tournament. You did a nice job. You beat Michigan State. Great atmosphere Saturday afternoon. Yeah, you lost 2 tight ones to Purdue. You got back at them on Sunday. Give me a little rundown on what this Big 10 championship meant for Michigan. Go ahead.
Well, I think that now, the regular season championship, which we've been fortunate to get a few times, was always the mark of the Big Ten because they were the last ones to get into the tournament, to have a tournament. Now that we have 14 teams, I look at it a little bit differently because you could win your league and play a unbalanced schedule because teams are, the parity is incredible, and you could play an unbalanced schedule where you play some teams, and you should be recognized. But I think right now, to me, winning the Big Ten it was almost secondary before the tourney because you'd have 6 or 7 bids. Now, I think the regular season and the Big Ten tournament probably have the same weight, if not the tourney more, because of the unbalanced scheduling. That you may just get lucky, and hopefully we get lucky some years.
Good point.
Michigan State had a great team. Now they had a great team, and Nebraska had a great team. But unfortunately for them, they didn't get to play some of the better teams enough to get their RPI up there. So it's a little skewed, but it's the only way we can do it. We're going to 20 games next year, Chris, and I think that will help get everybody into a balanced schedule. But I applaud Michigan State. They won a regular season by 3 games, 2 or 3 games. That's a hell of a year, too.
Yes, you're right. This year, too, the cramped schedule, so you get to New York for the tournament. How hard was it? That's like a pro schedule at times, the Big Ten regular season. John, how about that for a second?
Yeah, that was difficult. We had a span, if I'm correct here, that we played. We came back from Hawaii, and we played North Carolina at North Carolina. We played Texas at Texas, Ohio State at Ohio State, Indiana at home, all within like 10 days. And I think I might have said to Jim Harbaugh, how would you like to go into a span where you play Ohio State, USC, and Texas and Oklahoma all in like back to back to back to back? That's what we had. And I think we went 3-2, and that was good for us, or 2-3. I don't know. It was good. I felt good about it. So, but we got through it. Chris, if you would have been in the Garden when we won it, and you look up in the rafters and it's packed, and there's a majority of Michigan fans, you would say it was all worth it. Our kids did well academically. I was worried about that, but they did all well. They got through it, and it was well worth it at least for Michigan to go through that gauntlet we had to go through.
And obviously for you through the Big East many a year. You know what the Garden, we all know the Garden with the Knicks, but Madison Square Garden, people don't realize it, has a tremendous history with college basketball too. Much bigger college basketball in the early days than the Knicks. The Knicks took over, but the Garden's got a great college basketball tradition. A lot of people don't know that. You know that? Yeah, no,
March. Just being in the Big East, and there was a couple of times we went to with that team, that's West Virginia team. We went to the championship against Syracuse. We never made it I think until that 4th year we made it to Saturday night or Friday night, and then it was Saturday, and it was oh my goodness when the championship was on, and of course Syracuse had a big crowd. West Virginia traveled well. I realized because I'd never been for the championship game, what a great event that was in the Garden. And now that we're the championship game in the Garden again, it was really special for our kids in New York. And, we had a hotel like right across the street, right around the block. We walked to the games every day, Michigan people all over the place. It was fun.
Oh, that's a good job. All right, now let's talk quickly about Nebraska, Penn State. They're going to be nervous, very nervous on Sunday. Can you make a case that you can get a 5th team into the NCAA tournament?
Here's what I think that people miss out on is this league has, and I'm obviously biased, but this league has some of the top coaches in the league. And some of us in the matchups we had were not great matchups in the preseason, so we probably had an RPI that did not merit who we really were, and the coaches in this league, how people get better as the year goes on. And for Nebraska to win 13 games, for Penn State to beat Ohio State 3 times, that is really hard to do. In the travel we have to do, we're going through time zones like no other league really has to do. The ACC's on the East Coast and Pac-10s are all on the West Coast. We're like Maryland's playing at Nebraska at 9 o'clock on a Thursday night, and they got a game Saturday afternoon. There's a lot of things that go on. This league is tough. And if you can win 13 games in this league like Nebraska did, if you can beat Ohio State 3 times like Penn State did, I'm sure they're on that board. But as you know, there's a lot of things that have to happen to a lot of good teams to get in this time of the year.
Very tricky. All right, how are you going to handle the extra time off now before the tournament?
Well, I've talked to everybody about Wichita State, Gonzaga. They all have been in these for the last
good point.
Tens of years, and they've done fine. We're using this as a time to get better. This week we're doing drills that we do in October and November, and I can't wait for tomorrow's practice. But we go 2 days on and a day off, 2 days on and a day off. Where usually you'd go 6 and 1. So now it's a great opportunity for us to get better and pull guys aside, and you're in a drill and we're not worried about anybody else but Michigan, and that's really gonna, I think, will pay off for us. And then what Selection Sunday will get here Sunday, and all right, now we're in a normal. I would love to have a Thursday game over a Friday game, but I'll take either way. I don't care where we go. I'd love to go to Detroit, but we go somewhere else. That's fine too.
Yeah,
we're just happy to be in.
You gave him Monday off, right, John? So you practiced. Yeah. You practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, tomorrow.
Tuesday, today off again. We took today off just because of the 4 games in 4 days. Now we're going to go 2 on, right? A day off, 2 on, and a day off, and then now you're on the 2-day prep for wherever we're playing.
Do you take the whole team to your house on Sunday to watch the show?
No, we're going to have a big party here. We invite our student body that is in a member of what's called the Maze Rage, Chris. And they're going to watch it with us, and no, we'll do it right here. I have a nice house. I don't have one big enough for all the people that we want to be a part of one.
What would be the Thursday at 7? What would be the optimum time for John Beilein to play that first round game?
Oh, I love every time. And for us right now, if we could ever play a noon game on Thursday, that would be terrific.
You play that noon schedule. You're right.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. But I really don't care. I just, that's one of the secrets I learned this as soon as I got here, Chris. I read Bo Schembechler's book, and one of his things was sudden change, embracing sudden change. I mean, last year we had an airplane crash. That's sudden change.
Good point. Yep.
And embrace whatever is given to you because it's going to make you better and stronger. And that's whatever we're given. We're over the moon with being in this situation to be able to play in the NCAA tournament again. And represent this great university.
Here it is. I'm talking Louisville, Kentucky, and I forgot about the plane sliding off the runway, so that's a terrible job on me. All right, now listen. Opening day is Thursday. The Cards are playing the Mets at Citi Field, and that's going to be that's probably going to be Syndergaard. That's going to be a hard game. Yeah. But you'll live with that if you're playing on Saturday in the Final Four, correct?
I absolutely will, and I can guarantee you that during that game, Fred Wilpon, the former owner, will be watching Michigan as well.
Oh, he loves Michigan.
Yeah,
I know
our field is named after Fred.
I know that.
And then I think we got Jeff. Jeff loves Michigan too. I believe his son goes here. We have so many guys that are important people that go there. But no, I love that. Chris, and the days when Strawberry and Jack Clark.
Oh, they were good.
And Gooden. John Tudor.
Yep.
And Dwight Gooden. I mean, that was incredible baseball. And that's when I didn't have it on my app on my phone, and I was getting in the car in Syracuse then and driving, trying to get the games. I loved listening to him actually on the fan at that time because it was a little bit closer when I was in Syracuse.
Have you forgiven Don Deckinger, John, or not?
No, never. That will never happen. That will never happen.
That's a great.
We've been very fortunate.
It's great to talk to you again. Good luck. Appreciate you coming out here.
Yeah, have me on again. Love talking with you, Chris. Okay. All right, bye now.
Take care. John Beilein on Michigan, 7 in front of the hour. We continue here on Mad Dog